Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 158 from the Run in the Paint podcast. I'm Miles here with Nick, Ben, and Joey. Guys, how are you doing today?
Feeling good, feeling great. Happy to have everybody for an action-packed episode.
Yeah, big award show. I know we've been doing baseball update. We're not going to do that tonight because all the teams that we wanted to lose or wanted to win are not winning. So skip right over that. What's up, Benny?
What's up, fellas?
How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good today and excited to do some award predictions for the first time with you guys.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun with this episode, as we're kind of hinting here, is our award predictions for the 2025-26 season. Of course, it has been prediction season over the last several episodes. The last two, we did our standings predictions, which were a lot of fun. If you missed those, go check them out. Or even the shorter videos that Nick's been posting that to hear our opinions. It was a lot of fun. Today, we've got some awards. We also have some very late free agency news to kind of talk about here. But before we even get into that, we also have had a media day over the last week because we are quickly getting back to things, fellas. Today, as of recording, we had our first preseason game with the Sixers and the Knicks in Abu Dhabi, which was just fun to see, live NBA basketball back once again. But with media day, Nick, let's start with you. Were there any things that really stood out to you from media? It's always a super fun day where we get everyone, back in the swing of things. It's like the first day of school for us NBA fans.
Yeah, that's right. It is kind of like the first day of school. It has that back to school feel. It's funny you say that. Bill Nye was at the Celtics media day. I don't know if you guys caught that. I saw that on my phone, on my social media stuff, and seeing Derek White and Jaylen Brown like with a white lab coat on underneath or over top of their jerseys, I'm like, this is very strange, but it was also very cool to see. We talked about Skinny Zion last episode. That was definitely a big thing for media day. Um, yeah, it was back to school, like you said. It was cool.
Yeah, Joey, how about you? Anything that you noticed from media day, serious or unserious? I mean, it's a super fun time to get things
You're
started.
talking about the hairstyles and
Yeah,
Joey.
I love looking at the hairstyles because obviously a couple of years ago it was the emo Jimmy Butler that really made it stand out. Jason Tatum with the braids, Jamal Murray with new twists. The biggest thing I saw was the picture you sent us, Miles, of Kevin Love in the new Utah Jazz unis, which look amazing, but it is so weird seeing Kevin Love in those jerseys.
Well, it was funny. The Jazz put out a video on social media. It's like, let's welcome in the vets. And it was back to back. It was Kyle Anderson, Yusuf Nurkic, and Kevin Love getting their pictures in the Jazz jerseys. I'm like, wow, that is a lineup of veterans right there, all on the Utah Jazz. Ben, how about you? What were some of your favorite things from the week-long thing of media day across the league?
Well, just exciting, to see just online from what I've seen, some cool shots of players together and players with coaches together and stuff, and seeing some teams put on some new jerseys for the first time, like the Utah Jazz. Oh, I love those Jazz jerseys. Those are pretty sweet. And I saw, I guess, what was going on for Cavs media day the most, and uh, yeah, some of the Cavs. Well, not some, but a lot of the Cavs guys, were seeming like they were having fun with it, and seemed like some good camaraderie was starting to go, and they look excited for the season. So that made me happy as a Cavs fan from what I saw from that media day.
You know what the Jazz's vets coming in reminded me of the way that you were talking about it is I don't know if you guys have seen Billy Madison with Adam Sandler, but like just like sort of cynical, like sort of and going back to school because we were talking. It was funny. I just think that
Yeah,
funny.
it definitely is funny. Yeah, media day super fun. I mean, it's where every team it kind of feels like they have a chance, right? Every team, every player is really feeling good about themselves. So it's always a lot of fun to get going. And the fan bases, everyone feels like they have a chance besides those few rebuilding teams. So it's always a lot of fun here. Before we get into this free agency news, almost forgot, we got to do POELTL today. Let's see how we do with POELTL. Ben who is going to be our first guest today? I'm feeling good about this one.
It's going to be Davion Mitchell, the Miami Heat.
Ooh, I like it.
That's a good guess.
That is a good pick.
Off night, Davion Mitchell. All right, it's going to be a guard in the Western Conference. That's probably a taller guard and somewhat younger.
Older or younger, yeah.
I mean, Cade Cunningham is the first one that comes to my mind.
Yeah, but taller.
Western
Or no, it's in the West. Players in the West.
Conference.
What of that category? Who is a younger guard that is taller?
I mean, a guy that we'll probably talk about tonight is Amen Thompson.
Yes, we potentially will be. We could go with Amen Thompson. Do we want to try him out here?
I like it.
I just don't know if he would be a guard or a guard forward.
Yeah, he might be a guard forward, but there's no. I mean, we could try it out.
Other tall guards would be like Zach LaVine, but he's not really in the age range, probably.
Like 6'3". Yeah. Just younger, taller guards. I think De'Aaron Fox is right around that age range. Jordan Poole.
How tall is Pods?
Pods. He might
Pods
be
look good.
6'3". There's Pods. Yeah. I think Pods is good. I mean, I brought up Jordan Poole. I don't think Jordan Poole would be bad either. What do you guys think?
I'm afraid Poole's like 25 already, and that way it would be yellow.
Pods?
All right, let's try him out. We'll go with Brandon Pajemski on the Warriors. Whoa!
Nice,
Are you serious? All right, Pacific guard that wears the number 3.
All right.
Good guess. Dang, okay.
All right, let's go across these teams. In the Lakers, it would be Dalton Connect. He wears the number 4, and he was an older rookie.
I think he's taller in a forward, though.
I thought he was around that height.
I think he might be around that height, but we could go around here. Sacramento Kings 3 and 4. I don't think either of those would fit.
Phoenix.
Phoenix number 3 and number 4. I don't know. I cannot think of who wears those numbers right now.
The Clippers are all old, so it has to be Connect.
Is who?
Is Jalen Green still 4 for Phoenix?
I think he might be number 0. I'm not sure what his new number would be, but he would work too. Dalton Connector, Jalen Green.
Yeah, because everybody on the Clippers is old, so it wouldn't
nobody on the Clippers.
No, it's Chris Paul and I think Kobe Brown. I think a young guy, number 4.
I'll go with Connect. I'll vote Connect with you guys. Let's stick with our first.
I'll go Connect.
Dalton Connect. Connect 4? No, good. All right, so this.
I told you he was taller.
Oh, you're right.
So Jalen Green, is that our other guess?
Let's try it.
We should have went with him because we know he's 6 foot.
And we got it.
I thought he was number 4.
Yeah.
I thought I saw that at media day.
Okay. All right, Jalen Green in 4. We should have got it in 3, but we got it in 4. But that's all good. Let us know how long it took you guys to get to Jalen Green. Now let's get into some of this late off-season free agency news before we get into our award predictions. I guess number one thing is Jonathan Kuminga. Finally, I believe it was either Tuesday or Wednesday that he re-signed with the Warriors for 2 years, $48.5 million, with a team option on the second year. He signs it right before the deadline to accept the qualifying offer. He ends up re-signing for 2 years, $48.5 million. So, Joey, what was your reaction to seeing that Kuminga, after this long 3-month stalemate, Kuminga ends up signing a new contract to go back to the Warriors?
Yeah, immediately happy because I do think the Warriors are a better team with him, but it's all about if he plays hard and Kerr plays him and all that kind of stuff. I just find the whole saga just interesting. Like, I heard he turned down a 3-year, $75 million extension because he wanted to control more of his future.
Yeah.
But now, like, obviously it just came out since he wants to put the whole thing behind him, and he switched his jersey number to number 1, I saw. So he's like trying to move forward, and maybe there's a possibility of he's leaving it open. Like, yeah, the future might be bright here in Golden State, but this whole thing was just him saying, I want out. Like, it was just all confusing. I just don't really get it.
Yeah, I think confusing is a good word to describe it, Ben. I mean, I know we were talking about this for the whole off season, and we weren't really sure where this was going to go here. So, what did you think when he ends up re-signing with a new deal with Golden State?
Yeah, the whole thing's confusing, but I was guessing that that he was just gonna end up signing with the Warriors, and yeah, it happened, but I'm confused on how it's totally all gonna work out with the Warriors. Interesting. He switched to number one, and I'm interested in seeing when he plays, which I think he's gonna end up playing to start the year, how that fit will all work, how will the team camaraderie there be with that, and I'm also interested in seeing will he stay in the Warriors for all this year, or will they trade him before the deadline? I'm not sure all about that right now.
Yeah, that was the thing that I thought was of note was the team option and the fact that it's a tradable contract because it's less than he would have signed with the 3 or 75, like you were saying, Joey. But the two things that were surprising to me were the fact that it was a 2 year deal and not just like expiring and like they only could agree on one number for the 1 year. And I thought it was interesting that they gained the ground to make it a 2 year deal, even though they had the team option. And the second thing that I thought was interesting was that they had signed him after they re-signed everybody else. Like they made all their offseason, like Al Horford and the other pieces that they brought in that were supposed to be based around the Kuminga deal, like getting done after that. They actually got done before it.
Yeah, which the main thing that affects financially now is Seth Curry, who signed last. So it's kind of strange what they're going to end up doing with Seth Curry. So he signed for training camp, and then what they're going to do is they're going to release him right before the season until mid-November when they can re-sign him for a cheaper deal. So he's there for training camp to get acclimated with the Warriors system and the coaching staff and all that. And then because of the money situation, they're going to trim their roster down, get rid of Seth Curry, and then bring him back in basically a month when the money gets a little bit easier to play around with.
That's a weird scenario.
It is a very weird scenario, and it continues to be a weird scenario for this Warriors thing. I actually was just thinking while we were talking, we're going to do this for all three of these topics because we have three to go over here. Let's each go around here and give our opinions, thumbs up, thumbs down, or just in the middle about these moves here. So, Joey, it sounds like you're a thumbs up about him going back, but what do you think? I mean, do you think that he will finish the year as a Golden State Warrior?
That's the interesting part. Right now, I'm thumbs up because if they want to be like more of a contender with Curry and Jimmy Butler and stuff and the rest of the cast, they're probably going to need him to be at his best because he would be a huge addition if Kerr trusts him and all that kind of stuff because we know of the drama over the last year or two. So I'm ultimately thumbs up. I don't know if he'll be on, but again, it is also depending if they get a good haul for him because he is still a pretty talented player.
Yeah. Ben, how about you? What do you think about this as far as, I guess, your feelings towards this move and if you think he'll end up a Warrior by the end of this season or this contract?
Yeah, I'm, not totally sure on this. Who knows what could happen, but I have to pick one, and I'm going to go thumbs down. Yeah, I'm going with that because I'm just thinking he's just somehow going to get traded before the deadline, and it's not going to totally work out with the team camaraderie is what I'm thinking, and that they could get a good haul for him. But it's just my guess. I mean, who knows what could happen? It's just a confusing situation, as I've said.
Yeah, Nick, how about you?
I agree with Joey. I'll go thumbs up because I think that they both have an incentive for him to play well now. The fact that the Warriors could bring in a good haul and that he could have a bit more power maybe in saying where he wants to go or negotiating the trade because of the fact that he's playing at a higher level. But Yeah, I totally agree with Joey saying that if they want to go for, Steph's last runway here, then he's a key part of that.
I'm gonna split it then. I go thumbs down with Ben because I mean I feel like this can't really help his value that much. I mean, we talked about it so many times how Kuminga doesn't really fit on the floor with those other star players when Curry, Butler, and Green are on the floor together. I mean, Kuminga was just straight up out of the rotation when they were healthy. And this offseason, with that, I think it was still pretty good that they got a couple trade offers with the Suns offering Royce O'Neal, a bunch of second-round picks, the Kings offering Malik Monk, and a protected first-round pick. Like, I think both of those are pretty good returns. And this season, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to play to that $24 million production and raise his trade value that much this season when you kind of already know what you're going to get. I mean, it's not like the Warriors can change how they play. Kuminga's play style doesn't really fit along with that. And if the plan was to trade the contract anyway, then why wouldn't you just agree to trade him this summer now? Like, that's what doesn't make sense to me, that you're going to trade him. So why not get good stuff for it now when throughout the season you might get a worse return than if you just accepted the Kings deal now?
So you think there's no chance he'll be on the team come playoffs?
I don't think so. I think they're going to look to trade him as soon as it's eligible in December. I think that was the whole plan. That's the whole plan of why they have a team option on the contract, so they can scrap it after the season and he can go to a new team.
If he does that, if they do that, I'm probably for sure a thumbs down just because. And again, it depends on the haul they get, but I'm with you as well. Like, why would you go through this whole fiasco if you were just going to trade him anyways?
Yeah, especially when, like, I don't think his value can increase when we know he can't really play with the other star players. But it'll be something to watch for throughout the season. There's no question about that. For the Philadelphia 76ers, Quentin Grimes accepted his $8.7 million qualifying offer, which is a one-year deal this year, and it basically gives him a no-trade clause either. So he basically takes kind of a prove-it sort of deal here for this season, and then he'll be an unrestricted free agent in the summer where he can try to make some big money. Ben, let's start with you. Are you thumbs up, thumbs down, or just in between on Quentin Grimes accepting the QO with the Sixers?
I'm thumbs up on that. I think the 76ers needed him back, especially for shooting the ball from the outside. He's a pretty good three-point shooter now, I think. And I saw last year when he came into the 76ers, even though the 76ers were banged up, he fit into the system they were running. So
Heck, he was the system. He was the system.
He was running it. Yeah, that's true. And he just really impressed, when he was the big guy while the 76ers were banged up. And I think they could trust him, and I would trust him to fit in well with, Embiid and Maxey, those guys being back.
Nick, what are your thoughts on Quentin Grimes going back to Philly?
Thumbs up for the Sixers. Bring back another guy who had a huge end of the season last year. He averaged 11, 4, and 2 before the trade or before the All-Star break, and then 23, 5, and 5 after. So getting him for $8 million is a good deal on a team that's looking to make a huge or a leap here in the Eastern Conference and contend for a home playoff spot in the East. Yeah,
I am also thumbs up for basically the same exact reasons. If they want to, obviously last year was such a downside, but that was a big bright spot for them. Now, if everyone comes back healthy, he would be such a key piece off the bench with the rest of that team.
Yeah, thumbs up as well. I think it's good. I think it's good for the Sixers, and it's good for Quentin Grimes too. Also because, I think Nick and I would talk about this in pre-pod lobbies when we're like, what do you think is going to happen with Quentin Grimes? And I'm like, I don't know, because we really don't know how good he is. Again, he had the blow up when the Sixers were completely injured, and he, again, was the system. He was the number one guy. And for a competitive team, for this Sixers team, he's not going to be a number one guy. I don't know if he'll start. They have, some other guards that are good. Of course, VJ Edgecombe and Jared McCain are younger guys. Quentin Grimes is probably the more proven one, so he probably will get the starting job to start the season. But, we just don't really know how good he is. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, this time last season, he was coming off of a brutal year for New York and then Detroit. Like, it's night and day what ended up happening. Like, he got traded midway through the 23-24 season when the Knicks got Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. And for the Pistons, Quentin Grimes played 6 games after the deadline and averaged 5 points per game, 21% from the field, 14% from three. And then a year later with Philly, he averages 22, 5, and 5, shoots incredible. So we don't know how good he is. Is he, we need to see if he can be that consistent. And then he'll be an unrestricted free agent, and then he can pick where he wants to go. So we'll see how he plays.
That's why it's enigma. Yeah, that's why it's perfect for that prove it deal, man. I love these kind of prove it deals, especially with just like, hey, you can go hit free agency and see how much money you're worth.
For sure. Final one, Nikola Jovic extended with the Miami Heat for 4 years, $62.5 million. That came out in the last couple of days as well. Nick, what did you think about this one?
It's a good bargain for a young player with some pretty decent amount of potential. Jovic is a wing with size who can play both sides of the ball. So just that's sorry, I don't know if I'm breaking up or not. Yeah, that's what you're looking for in today's modern NBA is those guys. And so 4 years on a $60 million deal, when the cap is just rising 10% a year, basically is what it looks like. That's a good deal that I don't know how it's built, but it might be built where it like declines or something like that. Even better, because if he outplays his contract, that's a movable asset.
Yeah, so the way it's built is it's a steady increase per year. It goes 14, 15, 16, 17 mil per year.
So
for 4 years.
In terms of the cap rising, that's almost like a negative kind because it's less and less of the cap each year because the cap's going up by more than like a million, the percent. I don't know the math.
Yeah, it goes up. Let's see. It's cool. If you Spotrac.com is awesome because you can see all the contracts and next to the salary, it has the percentage of the cap. And it increases by like 0.1% per season. Okay. So it's not even that crazy. Joey, what do you think about Jovic, this extension for Miami?
Yeah, I like it. I give it a thumbs up. He's, like Nick said, a perfect kind of guy for today's NBA. You need athletic wings, kind of guys that can play both sides of the ball. And I think it's just a solid move. I don't quite know where Miami's going, but they're making solid moves, so it's going to pay off eventually, I think.
Yeah, they also never mentioned this on the podcast. They also signed Precious Achiuwa to be the backup center, which is good. He goes back to the Heat. Ben, quickly, what are your thoughts on Jovic going back to or extending his deal with the Heat?
I think it's a good deal by the Heat. It's not too expensive of a deal, and Jovic is a player with some more potential still and is, showed some good promise and fit in well with the Heat. So I'm happy that they kept him around.
Yeah, I'll go thumbs up. At first, when I saw the deal, I'm like, that's kind of a lot of money for someone that hasn't really proven themselves a whole lot. And I saw the number. He's only played in 107 games in 3 seasons that he's been in the league. So he's only played in like 44% of the games. But I mean, when you look at it like year by year, like we were just talking about, it isn't that bad. He's a young guy. He'll be a tradable contract if the Heat want to trade for a star. I mean, the Heat are, one of those teams that we've been looking at as wanting to make sure that they have enough cap to try to bring in a star in like the 2027 off season. So, I think it's a decent move for them. But, yeah, so those are all the last-minute free agent moves from the last couple of days. We'll see if we have any more extensions from the 2023 rookie draft class because that's when all these will happen. I'm pretty sure that deadline is Halloween, something like that. So we'll probably get those rolling in over the next few
Are there any other sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Are there any other guys that we would be on that list that could get extended?
I don't think Victor Wembanyama has extended yet. I'm pretty sure he might be like the first guy. Like the only things I can think of unless Victor has signed his extension, which he is not.
That contract's about to be one of the biggest.
Yeah, unless I'm confused. Oh, no. It's the 2022 draft class. Okay, so it's not the 2023. So this is the like Jabari Smith, Paulo Banchero draft class, and those guys all extended.
Yeah.
So the Victor extension, those will be in the next offseason. But now let's get into our award predictions. So each of us, we have all the major awards: MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man, Most Improved Defensive Player of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and we, of course, have the G.F.F. of the Year, the Garbage Fire Franchise of the Year that we incorporated starting last season. But we never actually predicted the winners, and I don't know if any of us would have gotten it last season with the Dallas Mavericks pulling it out, man, getting the banner there, if you will, or the tassel.
The tassel.
So we're gonna predict that this season. See who gets the dishonor of winning that award this season. But we've each come up with the top 3 for all these awards, so it should be a lot of fun. Of course, these are obviously very difficult to predict because you got to get injuries right in here, you don't really have to take injuries into account on these ones, but
eligibility.
Yeah, eligibility because of the 65 games played minimum that you have to have for these awards. So we'll see here, man. This should be fun. Well, we always have the episode later in the season where we'll look back at these awards and our predictions and the standings and see how right we were. So Joey, let's have you call the shot for the first one. What award do you want to go to?
Oh, okay.
Cook.
Let's start with the Coach of the Year. This is one of my favorites, and I feel like there's a lot of different answers that we could have.
There's always a lot of different guys every year, I feel like, who are in the running for this award.
Well, the thing is, for awards particularly Coach of the Year and when we get to MVP, I think a lot of those, and even the G.F.F. of the Year, I feel like a lot of those correlate to our standings predictions that we had in the previous episodes. Yeah. But either way, Joe, how do we want to do this? Do we want to start from do we just want to give each of us our top 3 or?
I think that's a good way to do it.
I'm fine with that.
All right. So Joe, you go first with your Coach of the Year. Who's your top 3 for Coach of the Year?
Who I think is going to win it is going to be Adelman, the coach for the Denver Nuggets.
Ooh.
Runners up, Ime Udoka and Quinn Snyder, the Hawks.
All right.
Obviously, we talked in the standings, very high on all 3 of those teams. All of them got extremely better this offseason. And, yeah, I just think Adelman with Jokic having the best team, them actually having a bench, I think they're just good. I think it's just going to be him. I don't know. I think the Nuggets are a scary, scary team this year.
I like it. Those are some solid picks. Ben, who's your top 3?
So I agree with Joey on David Adelman. I also have him as my Coach of the Year.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a believer that the Nuggets are gonna just be super good in the regular season. I mean, all of us thought we were for the standings predictions, and I just think the Nuggets are just gonna be a scary basketball team for everyone in the NBA to face as long as they stay healthy. And I think David Adelman will do a good job with all the talent he has to work with, and of course with making all that work around Jokic. And then at number 2, I have Mitch Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs.
Makes sense.
As he of course it makes sense, because I had them as like the 5 seed on my Western Conference standings prediction. So I'm high in the Spurs, and I believe he could really help, develop some of the younger guys in that team to where they, play better, play well. Like Dylan Harper, I think, could be pretty good his rookie year, and Stephon Castle could look good off the bench, and I think he can make it, and I think he can help make a dangerous pairing happen with De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama. And obviously, as I mentioned before, I'm really high on Wemby going this year. I believe he's just going to be so tough for
I don't think Wemby's going to be available at the
go
13th
up
pick in the
against.
fantasy drafts for you, Ben, though.
No, no.
Yeah, I get it. I just think Mitch Johnson will, get a good culture there. I think he learned from Popovich how to build a good culture. Free, I have Mike Brown. I think Mike Brown will lead the Knicks, to the 1 seed, and we'll just put up an impressive record with them, and we'll use his bench, and I'll see some very good systems run on both ends of the floor from him.
Yep, I've got Mike Brown as my coach of the year. That's who I think is
look at
going to
that.
win it. As the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, I just think that will be very impressive. I mean, coach of the year usually goes to either if you're coaching one of the best teams in the league or if you bring up a team that no one really expected to do so. And I think in the Western Conference, I don't think we will have any crazy shocks at like the tippy top of the Western Conference. And with Oklahoma City, they're the defending champs. We know how great they are, unless they have an absurd year where they go for like 74-8 or some like record-breaking season. I don't think that it'll be that much of a shock as far as that goes. And I just think Mike Brown is going to do a lot for this Knicks team. And even like, I know preseason's preseason, but in this preseason game, what I noticed against the 76ers yesterday is that he really had Jalen Brunson moving off the ball a lot. Like Brunson was not initiating a whole lot of things. Like a lot of times someone else would be bringing up the ball and they would give it to Cat or Mitchell Robinson. And then Brunson would come off a bunch of screens for a floater or on handoffs and do a lot of that different stuff. So I think he's going to really elevate their offense a lot. So he's my coach of the year. Second, Quinn Snyder. I think they're the 3 seed in the East. So it makes a lot of sense there. And then my third is going to be Rick Carlisle from the Pacers, because they're a team that I know all of us have them finishing kind of in the same spot in the East, like 7th, 8th seed type of range, but not a lot of people are expecting them to still be like a good, competent team. And I think that they still will be. And I think that, he's such a great coach. I feel like it would make sense for him to fit in that realm and get that recognition in the coach of the year.
It's a good pick. I like it.
Nick, how about you?
I considered both Adelman and Brown. They were probably 4th and 5th on my list because you get a lot of note. Yeah, I have 2 guys that I haven't heard mentioned yet on here, which I didn't expect to be super hot take, but I got a case for them, so I'll explain it to you guys here. But yeah, you get a lot of notoriety for like being in your first year, and if you guys are very high in the top of the standing, like we saw with Kenny Atkinson last year. So Adelman and Brown I considered, but I have Jamal Mosley winning this award this year. He's the guy who I feel like has been knocking on the door to win this award the last couple of years. And if the Magic can go from 7th to top 3 seed, I feel like that's, a pretty good case for Mosley to be at the top of the consideration here. At 2, I'd have Quinn Snyder as well, because something I didn't realize is just how good of an offensive mind he is. I don't know his background or like where he coached at before. Who his coaching tree is, but like I'm looking at stuff on it's coming across my Twitter feed that's just like really good half court execution stuff, and the Hawks don't have an incredible offense by any means. Like, but after Trey, who's getting older, it's like Jalen Johnson's a 2-way guy. I mean, Okongwu, like they don't have a stellar offense, and they were I think 12th last year. So if they can have a top 5 offense or something like that, like that's a pretty good case for him too.
Yeah, so Quinn Snyder just did some quick research. So his coaching tree is essentially, I mean, it's kind of a Greg Popovich coaching tree. He actually was an assistant to Coach K at Duke in the 90s.
Wow.
That's cool.
And then his first real NBA gig after college was he was the head coach of the Spurs D-League team, in Austin. And then he was a player development coach under Doug Collins for the 76ers, then an assistant under Mike Brown for that 1 year with the Lakers. And then he went back to – actually, he was an assistant for the Hawks under Mike Budenholzer, who was a coach under Pop before Snyder went to the Utah Jazz for a while and now with the Hawks. So definitely a good coaching tree, and he's definitely a good coach.
Yeah, could definitely win the award this year. And then the third guy I had was, this doesn't line up with the standings that I predicted, because I predicted this team to finish 10th in the East. But I got Nick Nurse, who I feel like if the Sixers are in a top 4 seed and the roster's outplaying sort of what everybody saw in them last year, and he really gets them to gel without having a ton of to build off from last year, I think that's a really hard thing. That's a hard job for him this year. And if the Sixers are top 4, then he should have a shot to win it too.
He is someone who I like it where, like, if he does get a top 4 seed, he for sure should be in consideration. However, he is someone who can have that kind of high of a ceiling where he could possibly be in the Coach of the Year running, or he could be fired by All-Star break, depending on how bad the Sixers are. Like, it could literally go one of two ways.
I feel like it's tough for Nick Nurse because I feel like he can't win in either situation, because if they are a top 4 seed, I feel like fans will be like, well, yeah, you should be. You have great players and they're playing. You should be a top 4 seed. You know, it's tricky. But I do like the Jamal Mosley thing, because if the Magic are a top 3 seed, then they probably should. He definitely should be in the running.
I will say the one I liked your Carlisle pick, and I will say I did consider Carlisle in the I'm blanking. I was saying the Celtics coach.
Oh, Mazzulla, Joe
Mazzulla. Because if either of those teams are competitive and like in the play-in or a high play-in, they'll be in consideration because they both lost their top stars. Like they very well should be in consideration.
Yeah, the thing that has me not really confident in, well, it's funny. My top 3 guys were all coaches in the Eastern Conference, which I don't know how likely that'll be, because it's not going to be as impressive as whatever gets done in the West. I'm just not sure how many shocking things will happen in the West. Like if the Spurs end up like a top 5 seed, if they make that jump, I feel like a lot of the credit is going to go to Wemby more so than Mitch Johnson, which is unfortunate, but that's probably going to be what happens. So I'm just not sure, but some team in the West and some coach is probably going to be top in the realm. I mean, Ime Udoka is a good pick. If the Rockets are a top seed without Fred VanVleet, they should definitely be up there. JJ Redick, if the Lakers are, All right, next award, Nick. Do you pick our next award as never mind.
Never mind.
Ben. Ben, you're up next here. What award are you going to go to next?
Let's go with the Most Improved Player Award.
All right, Most Improved. So I guess first, before you give them, Ben, how did you kind of form your top 3 for Most Improved? Because there can sometimes be different formulas for this award.
Yeah, so what I did was just think about, well, who could just really improve this year, and also how have I seen the NBA pick who's in the running for it, and who did they actually pick winning in the past. And yeah, I know before recently in the NBA they've picked like some players who was just improved that were like top picks in drafts previously, which is interesting. But should I give off my list now?
Yeah, for sure. Although I will say I think last year it was a step in the right direction by giving it to Dyson Daniels. Yeah. They've started to get back in the right direction, so hopefully we can continue that. But yeah, go ahead, reel them off, Ben. Your top 3 for Most Improved Player.
So my Most Improved Player pick is Jaden Ivey, which it's an interesting one, but as I said, my Eastern Conference standings thing, I had the Pistons at 3. I believe Ivy will stay relatively healthy this year, play enough games, and that he's definitely going to look improved from before and just look great in the system the Pistons running, and by being a great, complimentary second scoring option off of Cade Cunningham. And I just believe her in Ivy. I'm thinking he's going to have a big year. And then 2, I have Andrew Nemhart of the Pacers, he's going to get a lot of time with the ball this year if no Halliburton available this year for the Pacers. And I think he'll take a leap offensively, and he's shown to be a good defender, too. I think he'll look great on both ends. And at third, I went with Scoot Henderson, who I think could take a year-free leap this year once, he's able to start playing this season. As I think, Trailblazers are just going to trust them more with having the ball in his hands, get it more of an opportunity there, and we'll put up some good numbers.
Definitely like those picks. I love that Jaden Ivey pick because if the Pistons are as good as that, he is going to have to be a huge part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I'll go next. My number one was Andrew Nemhard for the Pacers. I think that's something that's going to be going for him as well, is that, I mean, his regular season stats are just not really that great. They're nothing too crazy. We know how great he is in the playoffs, but like in the regular season last year, he averaged 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 29% from three-point range. And then, of course, it jumps up to 46 in the playoffs. Like, it's still it's unfathomable that happened the last 2 years. But I think he's going to have the playoff numbers and then some in the regular season because the Pacers are going to need him to play super well and really be the engine of that offense with Halliburton out. He's going to have to be the guy that pushes the pace and then, once again, picks up full court and really disrupts the opposing team. So I think Nemhard's going to have a great year for the Pacers and a big reason why they are still competitive. My 2 and 3, I have Amen Thompson from the Rockets, especially if he's the starting point guard. I mean, his numbers are going to be inflated, and he should, definitely improve there with an increased role. And then 3, in the event that the voters are still like, all right, we'll give it to a star that just got really, really great, or a high draft pick that just got better, Wemby.
Yeah.
Okay, I got Amen 1, Nemhard 2. Wemby was 4th because I threw Ben Math in there.
I like it.
Ooh, that's a good pick too. I like the pick.
But yeah, I agree with you about Thompson. That's why, sorry, Joe, I picked Thompson 1 because I agree with you. I think in his role, he's going to be able to average like close to double-digit assists. I mean, I think he had a couple double-digit assist game last year. And if he's averaging 8 assists and ups his scoring from 14 to even 16, 17, that's all of a sudden 17, 8, and 8 guy in his third year. So
yeah, rebounding. I mean, because rebounding, he already averages 8 a game. Like, if he could be an 18, 8, and 6 guy on a top team in the West, with all the defense, come on,
crazy.
I mean, that could be all NBA worthy. Depending, like, it's crazy. Joey, how about you? Your top 3? You have anyone we have not mentioned?
All 3 of them you haven't mentioned. I have 3 brand new guys, and these are all kind of, I guess, dark horses because I do like all of your picks. All of them make sense. My winner is actually Cam Whitmore, the guy who gets a brand new shot in Washington. They're going to look at some. I don't know how his rotation is going to work, but he, in my opinion, with all the young guys and there's going to be the couple vets, I think he's going to have an opportunity to showcase his stuff. I really do. I don't know how well. I guess it is a big dark horse and a hot take to have him win it. But I don't know. I'm on the hype train. I really hope he goes for it. I also have one of our favorite Portland Trailblazers, Denny Avia.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
If Portland's in the play-in, and he honestly could be one of the best players consistently on the team, he might have a good running for it. And then Peyton Pritchard for the Celtics. Now that he's going to be the full-time point guard, those stats are going to be very inflated.
Love all those picks. Cam Whitmore is definitely a guy that should – he's going to get to shoot the ball a lot for his hometown Wizards. I think the thing going against him is that I don't know if the voters will care for great numbers on a bad team, but that is a great pick. I mean, he should be like a top guy. Like, as far as points per game increase from seasons, he should be right up there because I could see him putting up I could see him putting up 20 points per game.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if he goes from like less than 10 to all the way to 20,
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
it's a good pick.
Would definitely be crazy. All right, but that's good for most improved player. So, Nick, hopefully we won't lose you this time. Hopefully you don't get too scared to pick an award. What award do you want to go to next?
Well, let's do 6-man.
Okay.
All right.
I'll start us off. I got DeAndre Hunter winning this award this year. He was one of the favorites last year. I think he finished 4th in the voting and really had a great year with Atlanta to start the year. And then after the trade, just really helped Cleveland propel them in the second half to win the top seed and just, all that stuff. He was great for them off the bench. He'll probably start some games in the beginning of the year this year because Garland and Strus are out. But hopefully, as Miles – I know Miles likes him better off the bench, being a kickstart guy as a scorer off the bench. So hopefully we can get him back in that role, even if it means starting Lonzo or Dean Wade. Like, let's get. I agree. I think hopefully Hunter gets to the bench and he wins this award this year. The second guy I got is on a new team this year, Nickeil Alexander-Walker in Atlanta. I think his increased role of being a 6th man. His highest career average was 12.8, which was in his 4th season, when he got 26 minutes a game. And if he gets similar minutes with like 3 more years experience under his belt, I'd like to see what he can do because he's shot almost 40% from 3 in the last 2 years. And he's another two-way guy who really is a hound on the ball. So the third guy I got is Jared McCain. And I don't know if a second-year player's ever won 6th man of the year, but I liked what I saw in his rookie season before he got hurt. And if they can figure out the minute situation with Edgecombe and Maxey and McCain, and we'll see how he works into his role there. But if he's coming off the bench, he could be a guy in the running for this award too.
I like that.
Like it, definitely. Yeah, Joey, go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, I was thinking of picking DeAndre Hunter, but I think he might start too many games just because the whole first half of the year is good. Strus is going to be out. I think at some point we're probably, unfortunate, because I do like him coming off the bench, I unfortunately think we're going to have to keep him in the starting lineup.
And from, obviously, Ben said it at the top, since we're all Cavs fans, I've been, watching all Cavs Media Day stuff, and from what it sounds like, Kenny Atkinson made a concerted effort to build a relationship with DeAndre Hunter because Hunter arrived to Cleveland, very late in the season, so there wasn't much time to do that. So he made a very concerted effort to do that, and he feels more comfortable. And I think he's going to start the whole year. I think he's going to be the full-time 3, actually, starting. Which is why I don't personally have him. But if he does come off the bench, I think he actually is odds-wise. I think he is the favorite to win because he did lead the league in bench scoring all last year.
Yeah, no, it's a good pick. My winner is Jordan Clarkson. Knicks are going to be great. They're obviously going to actually use their bench, him or the other guy. McBride. Those 2 guys, honestly, either one of them are going to be probably high odds for 6th man this whole year. But I think Clarkson's the proven guy. He's probably going to get more trust from Mike Brown. So I think that's just how it's going to go. I also have my second runner-up is Naz Reid. Obvious reasons. I think, didn't he win it last year?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah. He's one of the best guys to come off the bench over the last couple of years. He's phenomenal. And then I have Tari Eason for the Houston Rockets. Rockets are going to be good. They're going to need a good bench. They're probably going to rely on him a decent amount. If they play him with KD, he's obviously not going to get as much attention. It might open him up for some good looks.
Like it. Like those picks. Actually, before we get to Ben and my picks for this, I did some research. So Nick was wondering if a young player has ever won 6th man of the year in their first or second year. I went back and looked. There's one player in history that won 6th man of the year in their rookie season. So shout out to the Hoop Collective. Let's do a little whiz of the quiz.
Ooh.
Who is
Jamal Crawford. I think he won this award like 3 times.
Not Jamal Crawford. This player was 21 years old. They were the 6th man of the year in their rookie season, and they were second in rookie of the year voting. This player averaged 15 points per game for an East team in the mid-2000s.
Ben Gordon?
Yes.
For the Chicago Bulls. Wow.
Ben Gordon, good pull there, Joe. Yeah, so Ben Gordon won Sixth Man of the Year as a rookie. It's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah, but there we go. Let's see. I'll give my Sixth Man of the Year awards. I have Naz Reid third. And then my top two are actually guys that have not been mentioned yet, which is very interesting. So my number one guy, it's kind of interesting. These top two players are not the normal mold for a Sixth Man of the Year winner. Normally, your Sixth Man of the Year winner is going to be a guy that just scores the ball a whole lot. So maybe that doesn't give these two guys a chance. But two guys that can do a little bit of everything that I think are going to be really important to their team. So number one, a former starter for this team, but I think is going to come off the bench this year, Josh Hart for the Knicks. Again, preseason's preseason, and media day's media day. But from what Mike Brown has been talking about all training camp and what we saw today, they started Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson together and had Josh Hart come off the bench. And even like OG Anunoby wasn't even playing. They started Pacome Dadier, second-year player from France, who's not going to be in the rotation. So that starting a bench warmer in place of Josh Hart means that they're probably going to try to get Hart used to that role. So if he's coming off the bench and being the engine for who I think is going to be the top team in the East, I think that'll be a pretty good case for him as a Swiss Army knife player. And then my second, another Swiss Army knife type player that can do a little more scoring is Karis LeVert for the Pistons. Pistons need some scoring punch outside of Cade Cunningham. Of course, Jaden Ivey, we think he can definitely improve. But off the bench, Karis can do a lot of different things, as we saw as Cavs fans for, a few years in Cleveland. Now he's back with JB Bickerstaff, and I think he's going to continue to do so and give more scoring, because the Pistons, in my opinion, they're going to need more scoring than those Cavs teams did when he was on the team.
Yeah, I like those picks. Known Chelsea fan, Josh Hart. Let's go blue.
Did you just say that Karis LeVert isn't a scorer?
Well, he at this point, he's not as big of a scorer as, like, he can do a lot of different things at this point. Like, I guess I would label him as a scorer, but that's not to say, like, he can pass the ball really well.
He's a playmaker.
He's a defender. Like, he's an all-around player. I wouldn't, like, I feel like score could put, like, just the label on him that he can't do anything else. Like a Jordan Clarkson, he's a scorer.
Yeah.
Like, he can't really, really do a whole lot else.
With how the awards handed out.
Yeah, so I don't know. Ben, who's your top three for Sixth Man of the Year?
So, my pick is Naz Reid. Yeah, obviously, recently Naz Reid has been one of the top players off the bench these past few seasons. And, I was thinking over this when trying to pick who I think would win this award. And some guys, I was thinking are going to move up to be like starters and stuff. And it was just like tough to pick someone else over Naz Reid. So, yeah, Naz Reid for me at 1. And then at 2, I have Ty Jerome.
Nice.
Don't forget about how good he was off the bench last year for the Cavs. And I think the Grizzlies coach that they have now can run some good offensive systems that, when Ty Jerome comes into the game off the bench for Memphis, can make him go freely, and he'll just find a way to put up a nice amount of points here the regular season again off the bench. And at number 3, I got Terrence Shannon Jr.
Let's go, baby.
I love it. I love it.
I think the Timberwolves will have a pretty good, top few guys, as you guys can see here, coming off their bench. Yeah, Terrence Shannon Jr. has shown some great flashes to me. I think he's going to show off some great athleticism this year for the Timberwolves, provide great energy off their bench again, plays pretty good defense. They'll be a tough guy to score on, and I think, it's offensive game is what needs to miss work, but I think he'll start scoring some more this year, even though I don't think he'll be great scoring, but I still just think he'll be really impactful.
Yeah, for sure. Love it for Sixth Man of the Year. I guess for the next award here, so we can keep on going here, I'll go to an award that I'll go to Defensive Player of the Year. This one I didn't think was too tricky, of course. Number 1, Wemby. Gotta be. Gotta be.
Yeah,
Would have had it last year. 2, Evan Mobley. 3, Dyson Daniels. That's, not too crazy there. Nick, how about you?
Yeah, I got Chet at 2.
Oh yeah.
And then Mobley at 3.
Joey?
I got Wemby, Mobley, and then Amin Thompson.
All right, perfect. Ben?
That's funny. I'm the same as Joey.
You're so smart, Ben.
Thompson.
You're
Same
so
thing as
smart.
the first award, and you guys had the same too.
It's almost like we're the smartest people in this for.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. No, well that means if we have the same 5-6 guys, this should be the guaranteed all defensive first team.
Probably, yeah.
Probably
Barring the eligibility.
Yeah, barring the eligibility thing, that's for sure. Let's see. Joey, you pick the next award. Where do you want to go next?
Let's go to, in my opinion, another kind of easy one. I would say is the clutch player of the year. It's probably going to be similar star players that always have the ball at their hand at the end of the game. My winner is Stephen Curry. I think they're going to win a lot of close games, and it's Stephen Curry. I don't think I have to go on. Yeah. I got Donovan Mitchell, kind of the same thing, especially the first half of the year. It's really going to be him and Mobley trying to have the ball in their hands. And then the winner last year, Jalen Brunson at 3rd.
Makes sense. Nick, how about you?
I went with Kevin Durant.
That's a good pick. I heavily
pick.
Considered him for my top 3.
Yeah, I hope that one comes true more than any of my other ones. That'd be really cool to see him win this.
Yeah.
Number 2, I got a guy who was in the running last year, got a lot of love, and that's DG, the other Cavs guy who's going to have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. He had a great run of fourth quarters towards the end of the year last year where he was.
Yeah, I'm just worried about games played.
I was just saying, I don't think he's going to qualify though.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was hurt. Okay, anyways, the last guy got Jokic, who's
Yeah, that's pretty much So mine number 3 is where I have Curry. 2 is where I have Jokic. Number 1 is actually where I have Trae Young. Number 1.
Ooh.
Because for an Atlanta team, I mean, he's going to be the facilitator when it matters most, and he was so clutch last year. I think he's got a legit shot at winning this. I thought about Brunson, as the reigning clutch player of the year, but again, I just think the Knicks are going to be a lot better, and they won't be in as many close games. I think they're going to blow a lot of teams out, because they're just better than a lot of other teams.
Yeah.
That's why I picked Steph, just because of the Western Conference. It's a lot tougher.
Yeah, for sure. Ben, how about you? Anyone that we haven't mentioned yet?
Yeah, there's actually a few guys that you guys haven't mentioned, which is funny.
Jaden Ivey.
So, no. It's different Jalen. It's Jalen Williams on the OKC Thunder.
He goes back to the top 3. I like it.
I think the Thunder are just going to give him the ball a lot, too, in clutch situations. And
had some big shots.
It's hard to figure out who could exactly win Clutch Player of the Year. It's one of the toughest awards to figure out. But I was just thinking, Thunder know how to win, and I think Jalen Williams will have that clutch mentality, make some big time shots for them and big moments to lift them to some big Western Conference and just wins, And 2, I got Luka. The Lakers are going to be relying a ton on Luka, and I think the Lakers will steal some big games just because I think Luka's going to find a way to take over and make some Luka magic. That really wouldn't shock me if that happened. And I got Anthony Edwards at number 3.
Ooh, yeah.
He's really going to be carrying the load again for the Timberwolves, and he's going to be really hungry once again this season, and I think he'll find a way to come up with just big, clutch, tough mentality baskets.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of hard to predict. I mean, you got to think what stars are going to deliver when it matters most, and a lot of them do. So, it's kind of a chance thing. But I love all the candidates that we've got for it. J-Dub, I forgot he was so clutch for them previous season. He was definitely in the running in the 23-24 season. Let's see. Next, let's just go to Rookie of the Year. Next, Ben, why don't you get us started with Rookie of the Year? Here's your top 3.
So I got Cooper Flag winning Rookie of the Year. Yeah, shouldn't really surprise. I think he's gonna have big opportunities in Dallas already in his rookie year, and that they're gonna do some good winning too. I think him, playing well in some games with developing and them actually, being able to win some games and compete will really, help his case. And he's just so talented. And at 2, I got Dylan Harper. I think, he's just one of the more talented point guards I've seen drafted recently out of the draft. And, the Spurs have De'Aaron Fox too, but I think he's going to get the ball a lot too. We'll just be able to show off being really talented. And as you guys obviously know, I think the Spurs are going to win a lot as well in the regular season. And at 3, I got Trey Johnson of the Washington Wizards. The Wizards are fortunately about Bilal Coulibaly for a good chunk of the season. So I think they're going to give Trey Johnson the ball a lot to really try to develop him. And I think Trey Johnson has some pretty good talent and will have a pretty good developing system around him to put up some big games in his rookie year with the Wizards.
Yeah, I love those picks. I mean, there are a lot of this is a very good rookie class. There are definitely a lot of guys that could be in the running here. But for me, of course, I do have Cooper Flag number 1. Just makes sense. It's Cooper Flag. 2 and 3, I've got Ace Bailey number 2. He's gonna have all the opportunity in the world to put up numbers and scoring. I'm not sure how efficient it'll be, but I think he'll put up some numbers. And then 3, I've got Yegor Demon from the Brooklyn Nets. Because I feel like one of those 5 rookies has to perform and be very, very good. And he's going to be the starting point guard, so he'll be able to amplify his assists and score a little bit.
The only question is, once he gives the ball up as a point guard, will he ever get it back?
Well, he should get assists. He'll have a better chance for assists because, they're going to shoot Cam Thomas and Michael Porter will just shoot it.
I like it.
Nick, go ahead. Go ahead.
I actually had the same 3 as Ben. I had just Harper and Johnson switched because I think Johnson is the dark horse. He's going to get a ton of shots, and if he gets a ton of shots, he's going to make a ton of shots. Kid can just shoot the heck out of the ball. But yeah, it's Cooper's award to lose. I think he's close to minus 200 right now. So
sounds about right. I also have Cooper Flag as the winner. My friend Josh from work, who I was telling you guys about in the pre-pod lobby, he told me about Trey Johnson. That's his pick, actually, outside of Cooper Flag. I actually have, though, my favorite jersey in the NBA, Zero Fears, as my runner-up this year. Jeremiah Fears for the Pelicans. And then probably my favorite rookie in this entire class from the Portland Trailblazers, Yang Hansen.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
I have him as the 3rd. I believe in the Chinese Jokic. I truly do. I think he's a baller.
Dude, if he gets 3rd in Rookie of the Year, I don't know. I don't even know. I'd
like to see Kamen Malawatch top 5. I'll give him a shout out because he's my favorite player from this year's draft.
Okay.
Yeah. If either of those 2 can make all rookie second team, I think it'll be a success. If they can get first team, that'll be something else. I like it. I like the hot takes in these awards.
Yes, sir.
All right, do we do G.F.F. or MVP?
We're saving MVP for last.
All right,
I thought
G.F.F.
we were going to save the best for last.
No, that'd be the worst for last. Nick, the garbage fire franchise of the year? You're the.
I'd love to do the honors or the dishonors, as you said earlier. My number one, most likely, this is probably the hardest one to predict. Do you guys agree?
Yeah,
one of the hardest. Yeah.
Again, the Mavericks won last year. Like,
okay, so I went with New Orleans, kind of safe for the number one. If this Queen thing doesn't work out, and you give up a top 10 pick, and you're really bad, that's a surefire way to go to the top of the leaderboard, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a hard case to beat. But number two, I had Charlotte. If Charlotte doesn't win 30 games, which they haven't done in 3 seasons, then that's a good case for me as well. Like, you added Sexton, you added Dinwiddie, you added some vets. Like, they look like they're trying, and they should be trying at this point. So if they don't win 30 games, it's gonna be bad. And then Philly. I don't have to spell it out. If things go bad in Philly, they're shooting right up to the top of the G.F.F. for me.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I love this. All right, Joey, who's your top 3 for the G.F.F. of the year?
All right, I have the Charlotte Hornets winning it just because I in my standings I have them winning 20 games. If they barely win 20 games, this is over. This whole LaMelo Ball Charlotte Hornets experiment, you got to blow up this whole team. It's over. That, in my opinion, if they win 20 games, they should get it. But another team who I have in the play-in, but the definition of just mid and staying mid is the Chicago Bulls.
Yep,
at number 2.
Knew it was coming.
They got no direction. They're not getting better. They're not getting worse. They're not doing anything to get better. They're not doing anything to get worse. They're just staying put. And then because I have them missing the play-in, and I feel like they did kind of go all in. I have the Raptors. They really need to start doing better and make the play-in with this team and with the weaker Eastern Conference. And I have them out of the play-in. So based on my standings, I think that's not a good look.
Yeah, those are good. I honestly completely disregarded the Hornets and forgot about their possibility. So I have put them in my top 3. Joey, your Sacramento Kings are safe. They were in the top 3.
I was just wondering about the Kings.
I had them 4th on mine, to be honest. I'll be completely honest with you. They were right in the running.
Yeah, so therefore, mine is Pelicans 3, Hornets are 2. And you guys know from the predictions, number 1 for me is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
Their roster is awful. And something that happened at Media Day, which is not a very good start to the season, is that Bucks owner Wes Edens had a press conference, which, first of all, you never see owners give a press conference at Media Day to have to clarify things about the state of the franchise and what's going forward. And in the press conference, he was saying, like, all right, I had a meeting with Giannis, and he said he's locked in. He's all good to go. And he's, committed to this Bucks franchise going forward. And then in Giannis's press conference, he could not recall the meeting with his boss from an hour earlier. So this is not a good start, and I am really loving my Bucks at 12 prediction to start off the season. And if this is how it's going to go the whole year, they got to be the G.F.F. of the year, because they should not be the 12th seed with Giannis and Antetokounmpo. But I think this is a very good possibility, and we're not starting off well for them.
No, that is a very real pick. That's a good pick.
Ben, who's your top 3?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this like the funniest award.
Yeah.
But I love that we're doing this. My G.F.F. prediction would be New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah. They made some weird moves this offseason. Some bad moves, like trading away that first round pick when they can still be bad and need the pick. Like, what are we doing here? And they're a funky, weird roster, weirdly fit roster, as I said before. And then the Hornets, I don't think the Hornets are going to be very good. And it's just like, come on, when's this team ever going to be ever anything good? You had some pretty good top draft picks to work around here for multiple years. Like, what's going on? Like, it's just funny how you could be that bad for so long. Like, I think they're going to continue to be this year. And then at 3, I got Memphis because I don't even think they're going to make the play-in, and I don't even know what in the world they're going to go in as a direction. And I just think they're going to have an odd year, kind of a goofy year. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like that pick. What was it? 3 years ago, the Grizzlies were the 2 seed, and now they might not even make the play-in.
In 2023, they were the 2
Or
seed.
2 years ago, yeah.
Even this last season, they were the 2 seed for a decent part of the season, and then they had a horrible second half of the year, and now we all have them having a down year, so that could definitely be possible. Yeah,
Very fun.
very fun, very fun. I love that there's like kind of a set like 4 or 5 teams that we think we're going to be watching the circuses of a lot of these teams.
Shout out the OG G.F.F, the Brooklyn Nets, for being bad and committed to it.
Yeah,
You
didn't
are
even get a
not going to be a
mention.
G.F.F this year.
Didn't even get a mention.
Is there a chance that they are the G.F.F this season?
If they make
Well,
the
we have
play-in,
them all
yeah.
15, except for Joey, I think.
No, I have them
Sorry.
at 15.
Right, but that's when they're supposed to be. Like, is there a world where the worst team in the league, when they're supposed to be the worst team, is like, if that is the GFF? Like, how can we clown them if we know they're the worst?
If they win 10 games.
True.
If they
You're
win
right,
10 or
you're
less games, that's even worse than I could imagine.
You're right, because not last season, the previous. So last season was the first year we did the GFF award. If we
Garbage
did
Fire franchise. I can't believe we haven't said it, I don't think.
I think it was a couple times. But so last year, of course, it's the Mavericks for obvious reasons. We haven't even needed to explain it. The previous year, if we had done the award, it would have gone to the Pistons for losing 28 straight games and being absolutely awful. And that happening. So I guess it is possible.
It is true.
But from that, let's go to MVP, most valuable player. I guess, Nick, you want to start us off, your top 3 for MVP?
Yeah, I kind of got to go with top 5 to really explain this one, I feel like. So if you guys are strapped in, I'll run through it quick. So at 5, because of the reasons that we just talked about with Milwaukee and stuff, I put Giannis here. I just think there's too much uncertainty for me to put him any higher above the other 4 guys I got. Because if you get traded mid-year like we saw with Luka, I mean, that you're not winning MVP. So that is a realistic possibility that could happen for Giannis this year. So at this point in time, he's 5th. 4, I put Shea. I think he's going to have a bit of, I mean, not. There's other guys who are going to step up and improve, and it's not going to look as great as it did last year. So 4, I got Shea. Had to put Wemby in there. That's my justification for getting Wemby in the top 3. That was why I said this 5. So I really do think Wemby's going to have that 30-year jump. When we were talking about most improved and you said Wemby was in the conversation, I'm like, yeah, he could legitimately win the DPOY, be in a top 5 MVP, and then be in the conversation for most improved too. So I got Wemby 3, Luka 2, and obviously Joker 1.
Okay, so it is. Okay. I was curious to see if anyone would have Joker at 1. Like myself, I have Jokic at number 1. I still think he's the best player in the league. I think he should have won it last year, over Shea. But I still think, like, those 2 guys, I think they're still going to be at the top. Jokic 1, Shea 2 for me, just because how great they are. But I wouldn't be surprised. Like, if the Thunder are steamrolling again and he sits out 4th quarters and his numbers go down a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think there's still room for him to get better. Like, he's only 26, 27 years old. Like, he could be even better than he has been, over the last couple of years. But 3 is where I do have Luka. I think Luka will have an incredible bounce back year. I think he could be higher if the Lakers are better, but I don't think the Lakers are going to be anything too special. I considered putting the Lakers as a GFF candidate if things didn't work out, but refrain from that.
Dark horse.
I think they could be a dark horse, like they were
that.
in 2022 when all those old guys, did a bad job. But Yeah, Jokic 1, Shea 2, Luka 3 for me. Joey, how about you?
I also have Jokic at 1 and SGA at 2. I will say, at 4, I have Wemby. I have him just outside, but I do think he'll be getting top 5 votes, like, for sure this year. Like, I expect Wemby to be just a monster. But I actually do have...
Holy moly, where is Ben going to have Wemby in this?
1. We know.
One.
I do have Giannis at 3, though. And I'll be honest, I think the Bucks can be competent enough, and I truly think since the rest of the team is so bad, you're lucky I didn't put Giannis at like DPOY or clutch player and MVP on this, because like he is legit gonna have to do everything, and I think could have probably one of the most dominant seasons we've seen from him or ever. Like I truly think he's gonna put everything on his shoulders, and at least in this Eastern Conference, make a play.
Wow. All right. Ben, who's your top 3 for MVP?
So, at 3, I got Shea there. I think I gotta get him in the top 3 when I think he could be the number 1 seed, and he'll just be still looking super good, putting up, just great numbers, doing Shea stuff. And then at 2, I got Victor Wembanyama.
At 2?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I think he's gonna be looking dominant at times this year. Look at it compared to like some of these other superstars in the run. He can play such good defense too, and will be able to score it so well. And I mean, I just think the Spurs are gonna look great in the regular season. A lot of it, was off of the regular season. And then Jokic for me is at 1. It was hard to pick anyone over Jokic. I still think Jokic is the best player in the game and will be this year. And he obviously can just do it all. Just make amazing passes, rebound, just score too when he needs to. It's just gonna be Jokic still,
Wow. Wemby at 2. Wow.
Biggest hot take of the day.
It might be. I'm excited to see it, though. I'm excited to see that play out because it could happen. It could happen. It'd be crazy, though. But yeah, those are all of our official award predictions. Whole lot of fun here today. I guess what do you guys think was the craziest hot take? I mean, Joe, you say Wemby. What do you guys think is the biggest hot take award wise?
I was just joking, but at least Ben's biggest hot take is not having Wemby at 1, I think.
I like the Cam Whitmore 6 man. I think that is a legit thing that could happen. Or most improved, rather.
Yeah,
my bad.
Dark horse, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that probably would be it, I think.
I had a couple. Yang Hansen as well.
Yeah, Yang Hansen. Yes, that's it. That is the one. Like if that happens, like we're gonna have to do something on this podcast.
I'll get jerseys. I'll get Yang Hansen jerseys.
We'll have to send the Trailblazers this video, and they have to send us jerseys because we're believers from day one.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, there's a look at all of our award predictions. Whole lot of fun. In the next episode, we will begin looking at a bunch of different questions heading into
burning
the season.
questions.
Burning questions. We think we're going to have 20 of them over the next 4 episodes. And by the time that's over, we're back to regular season basketball. Incredible that we are almost here. The wait is almost over, and I cannot wait for that time to come. Do you guys have anything else before we get out of here?
I got one thing. I know we always talk about the NBA, but I want to say one thing real quick about the WNBA on the news that's been happening lately. Shout out Nafisa Collier for speaking up, and Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner. You need to resign. You are terrible. That was it. Sorry.
I don't know enough about that.
I highly recommend you look up what just happened. But
I'll definitely
commissioner for the WNBA is blowing it hard.
I am excited. The WNBA finals, I believe, start tonight as we are recording. Las Vegas versus Phoenix.
Yes, sir.
So it should be a lot of fun. We do have some basketball, and of course, we have the preseason to enjoy until we get back to the regular season. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more NBA content. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.